Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, this is Smith in the Black, and let's take a look here with the SPY. Coming in a little bit, you had the inside day to the downside, and we had a couple weeks down after we had the 2-2 reversal here and a little continuation. But so far, the sell-off isn't that broad-based, let's not panic just yet, depending on who you are, as we'll see. But the monthly, still potential 3-month, and we haven't seen one of those in a while. It's been since a year, so that would be nice. So we'll see if they keep bringing them in, though, but some other things are going to need to break, and I'll show you as we go along. But potential 3-monther, and whenever you go out on the lows, it's going to look bad, and so on the daily, this looks pretty bad. But if it takes that out on Monday, that's a rev strat back to the upside. But so far on the lows, QQQ, and you can see stuck in here, keeps trying to fight back up into here, and just slight lows on the weekly. Here, just slowly taking it down, not the end of the world just yet, but also potential of 3-monther, and until that changes, slowly but surely we'll keep an eye on them. Apple causing some problems here. Apple getting real close to it now being an outside month, and that would be down here below 144.50. You're almost there. If you go to the weekly, we had that 2 that didn't have time to be a 3. Now these 2 become an outside bar of all that. Right now the question is, you're going to be weak enough to come through all this stuff. One inside day and down on Friday, but going out on the lows, so of course it's going to look bad. If you go to small cappers, stuck. Inside day, and once again these weeklies. Here you got the hammer, but you can see just stuck in all this mess still. That needs to change. If you go to TLT, and TLT also stuck in here, still inside month as of now, so jammed up in there. If we go to VXX, now we'll see if there's any life in here. This would tell us a few tails here. So VXX, not quite inside, takes a slight higher high, so we can keep an eye on this to see if they really want to start panicking here. No. You can see this pivot machine gun coming back through here. It's got a little bit more on that, so we'll see if they get scurred come Monday morning. If we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, in the Diamonds weekly, we knew about that weekly rev strat here. Then continuation to take out this bar here, so we'll see if there's anything more to it. Just goes out on the lows like a lot of things here, taking a bunch of this stuff out. And as we know in the month, that's a 2 up, 2 down month, so long as it's below this, 347.11, and you are there. If you go to IBM still inside month and down. If you go to Coke, a little boring, but it is 322 or 312 back down, so you can take out this old month here. If we go to Triple M, still having problems taking out all these 5 months, just a little exhaustion risk on the daily as it goes into the recent lows. If we go to Nike, and Nike on the month here, 2-2 reversal month, 2 up, 2 down, Nike. If you go to Cat, the 2 down, the 2 up, 2 month to the downside, and that tells us to look at John Deere, potential 3-monther, and AGCO. Here, going 2 to the downside monther here below this. 126.95. If you go to Johnny John, still shooter down, and we're not near the lows of the week. UNH, stuck doing nothing, because you can see XLV doing this. Here, just kind of stuck in here. So it's a little fragmented over there, but you can look at stuff like the differences in there. A little interesting. ANTM, daily. And you can see this try here. Got a little bit more to take that out, right? And if that works, it's staying green on the month and coming back up, so we'll see what it does and try and take out all these weeks' highs. Then stay up there. Here you can see they triangle out here. Now the question is, they come through here, and then can you stay up there? If you look at Humana, and Humana, you can see this 2-bar outside pattern of these guys, and on the daily, it's going to look like this. Keep an eye on that. Might even be up there, but you get the idea. Humana. If you go to Cigna, just flatlining, boring, you see the difference in here, albeit could be trying these guys out to come up to that, but not doing much over there. But you could also look at GH. GH sets up the rev strat weaker here. They want to keep that going. If we go to the trannies, And the tranny's still weak, just not totally getting crushed, but watching that inside month break. And we know who's been doing it over there. CSX, the 22 monther with the Union Pack, inside down Norfolk Southern. So all those rails. However, you do have CNI here that went into exhaustion risk, but now potential RevStrat. Now you got a mother bar issue, but you do have potential RevStrat CNI if they want to take that up. FedEx still bleeding out month after month after month. It's not trading very well, except a few days here and there, but you can see the monthly, it just keeps bleeding out, and that tells us to look at UPS. And UPS working on the inside month and down, and now you got an inside week right here to see if that takes that out. CHRW here, and remember on the daily we had this in the nightly vid, so it hasn't completed this yet, right? But we've been watching this try grow, and the good thing about it is if it does go down here and take this, it could trigger this, the inside month to the downside here below 86.82. We'd go to the utilities, and utilities going out near the lows of the month, and potential 3-monther. You see they hit them pretty hard here on Friday, so they're not jumping into a defensive posture is what we're seeing here. So that's somewhat of a good thing for the market. But if we go to AEE, you're going to see RevStrat monther here. Inside pokes up down like Duke here, giving you the 2-2 and all that kind of stuff over there. If we go to gold, so gold, we were looking for the RevStrat, but we knew that the miners are telling us doesn't look like it. So if we go to the weekly, it drops back in off that 2-2. So the question is here, can we come down and take all this stuff out? Just gaps and sits for right now, so it's just kind of sitting there. But we know GDX and all that kind of gang was having some problems to begin with. So you can keep an eye on those miners' weakness still. If we go to XLF, and XLF just kind of stuck here too in the month. Still an inside month, albeit red with FAS doing the same, so not too much there. JP Morgan, you can see that just stuck on here, so we're not seeing the financial meltdown, so there's that as far as the overall market. Goldman Sachs coming in a little bit more, but the monthly still handily inside month. If we got anything, Wells Fargo was trying to RevStrat, now trying to Randy Jackson come back up after the inside week to the upside, but still 2-bar pattern in here. So if you could take that out, then you'd have RevStrat week and RevStrat month if we can take those down. Just some insurance names having some little bit of problems here. Aflac going for the 2-2 monther down here below 54.28. You're there right now, and PGR here inside month to the downside, still a 2-month inside pattern, but something we can keep an eye on. XLE still doing nothing. It's YH, they had something. Look at that, dojis, but some of the stocks actually doing something. So just can't get those broader stuff to help out. You got CLR as an inside month to the upside 312. You've got LPI still working that 322. You've got Conoco here, still working the 322. EOG working the 22. You've got PXD taking the inside month to the upside. You've got Fang Energy just trying to work that 322, and Venom spin off from Fang. Inside month to the upside. You've got SM, also the 22. WLL, the 322, XCC, we know about that one, hit magnitude on the 322, COG, here hit magnitude on the 322, but still stuff up in here, and once again you can see like Schwab and Halliburton doing nothing, and the OIHers. So you'd think that these things would be going, but you can see by the XLE that they're not getting everybody going, so we'll keep an eye to see if they do. XRT, getting a little stuck in here and doing nothing, but you got Walmart here, still inside month, and just kind of took down the weekly here a little bit, so we'll see either side of this week gets my attention. Target, just kind of stuck in here, not doing much. I don't know if that was an inside week or it was like a slight 2 up. It's just kind of purgatory up in there, and Costco also just hanging around the highs, but backing off just a tad. But if we go to Chewy Chewy, there's a lot of either wayers here this week, because you can see it gets closer to 2-2 week back up. And if they just micro tried them out, because the monthly does take this out, the question is going to be weak enough for this stuff. So we can keep an eye on that somewhat either way. Dollar Tree here, it's still a 3-2 month to the downside. So here the question is daily, just triangle out, shoot her and back down she goes, or weekly. Does it try and come back up here and take that too? So we'll see. If we go to Starbucks, working that month. Inside month and down here when it's below 113.61, just barely there. If we go to Ross Stores, still inside month and down. If you go to VFC, and inside month and down, and look at all these months it's taken out too here on this monthly down. So the VFC still in trouble. If you go to Walgreens trying to get that inside month going, and now you got a weekly rev strat if they want to bring it up, and of course you can watch that with the CVS inside week. And Yum Brands, 2-2 monther to the downside, 3-2-2 and a long way down. Below 130.45, you're there right now. Let's go to the IBB. And IBB still handily inside month. Weekly would be rev strat to the upside. BIIB has been flatlining here on the daily, like so. It's got to get out of there, but it is still inside month to the downside. If we go to Bristol Myers, still 2-2 monther. And they've hit this thing pretty hard, though. I might want to see if they triangle these guys out. But that's kind of what you want when you're short something now, isn't it? No highs. If you go to Edit, and Edit, setting up potential rev strat 3-1-2 and back through the old try she goes. We can take out 67.35. You get some distance on that. If you go to EXAS, a nice end of the week last week hammer, and still flirting with the rev strat if we can take it out. 110.05, getting a little closer. If we go to Amgen, and Amgen month, the downside, but you do go inside week, so see what happens with that. If you go to MYGN, weekly hammer, and if you go to the daily, you'll see something like this. If it takes that, potentially you got this. Like so. So you can keep an eye on that try if it takes out that hammer. If you go to Sava, been kind of corpsing down in here, but you do come up to hammer, and we know this thing can move out. Here on your weekly, you know this thing can move around. So we'll see if that heats up again. And Lilly, still suffering on the 2-2 monther. If we go to Tech, XLK just dropping in a little bit. But if you go to the weekly here, so it took that 2-2 like everything else, and then just slightly lower, not totally crushing it. Apple giving them the problems because Microsoft still holding up there, not doing much, but Microsoft not selling off. So we keep an eye on that. If we go to SMH here on the week, potential the 3-2-2 if they want to bring this thing down and get them going, because on the month still not doing much. So there's that. If we go to Facebook, and Facebook gave us finally the inside week to the downside, so there's something. And we had that daily inside day down, so just going out towards the lows of the week. Amazon getting a little stuck again here, so if we go to the weekly, you see this potential hammer counter shooter if they want to bring it up, but if that works, that takes the 2-2 monther if they want to bring this thing back up. If you go to Netflix goes up, and then on the weekly backs off, goes 2-2 down, but now you're middle of this range, so it either extends that to the downside or it goes 2-2-2 right back up. We keep an eye on either side of that week. Go to Google, and Goog just kind of stuck up in here, and so it's not doing much. You did get your inside day to the downside, though, on Friday, but still a little stuck. And NVIDIA is kind of drifting here, too. You can see this daily just not doing much. Drifting a little bit, stuck in this mother bar, so there's that. Go to Autodesk, and Autodesk still 2-2 month and downer. The question is going to be weak enough to go after any of this stuff. He's now on the weekly. just kind of sitting here. So either a 2-2 back up or continue that monthly down. If you go to AMD, AMD still stuck in that tight daily try here that we're keeping an eye on. So we'll see if it's weak enough to take that out, and then see if it stays down, because really we're looking for that month. If you take that month, that will get my attention, AMD. If you go to AVGO, you can see just hanging out near the high. So there's some of these techies, inside days, some of these semis like KLAC, Texas Instruments, all still hanging right near the high, so they haven't broken yet. If you go to Checkpoint, CHKP, Checkpoint, monthly here by a few pennies, 2-2 to the downside. If you go to Sienna, that's RevStrat month. You're 3 months inside of here, but it is a RevStrat month, so you can pay attention to that. If you go to Overstock, in Overstock, just getting closer to this 3-2-2 month. If you can take this out, 75.51, that would get my attention in general. It's been doing a whole bunch of nothing, but we want to see if we can get out of that stuff and trigger that month. If you go to CrowdStrike, and CrowdStrike, still an inside month, so sometimes you just get that back and forth, and closer to a 2-2 weaker right back up. If you go to Cyber, and Cyber not doing much on the month, but you can see just closer to a 2-2 month week back up to the upside. Go to Qualcomm. Qualcomm having some problems going the other way. You see this monthly here. Takes the 2-2 monthly reversal to the downside. If you go to Docu, and Docu had a month and down. It's a 2-month down, but it does come back up and do this in the week. So it's kind of an either way or here. Hammer back up or re-break of that too on the month. If we go to ServiceNow, RevStrat weaker to the upside if they want to take it up, not doing much on the month though. If we go to Splunk, Splunk takes the weekend down, but could close to a RevStrat here, not doing much on the month there either. We could use some more bigger, longer candles. We just don't have them right now. If you go to NXPI, and here you're going to go inside week in the semis. So handily inside month in that too, but you're going to try and use all these to put the parts together once they start moving. Okta, Doji on the month doing nothing, but closer to 2-2 weaker to the upside. You've got SQ, closer to a 2-2 up, or if it fails, the re-break of the 2-month back down. If we go to Ring, RNG, been having all sorts of trouble here. And you can see this taking out 4 months of lows all into here. But then rallying back off a nice little hammer on exhaustion risk. And what that did set up was potential 2-2 weak if they want to bring it back up. If we go to Snappy, Snap, RevStrat week, you can see kind of stuck in here. The monthly not doing much, but it would be RevStrat week if they can take it out. If we go to TTD, and TTD, it's a little doji in here on the week, but still it is 2 months to the downside. Go to ZM. ZM tight on the month, but starting to do this triangulating thing as price discovery starts over again. And that's oftentimes what happens on a gap. And there you go. There's your try. There was your inside day to the upside. There was your RevStrat back down. Then there was your hammer back up. The back and forth of price discovery. If you go to TWLO, not doing much on the month, but just another one of those closer to going 2-2 weaker to the upside. If you go to VIV, and VIV just a doji on the week, but on the month you still have this. 2 up, 2 down in the month for VIV and Zscaler. Doji on the month doing nothing, but you got the weeklies potentially doing this. 3-2-2 back up. Just a few more. ADP still falling from the 2-2 month reversal. AXON here. 2-2 reversal on the month to the downside. And some chemicals. CC also inside month to the downside with Eastman Chemical. And LYB still 2-2 month down. PPG still an inside month to the downside. And then some of these metals, you got CLF going 3-2 down on the month. You've got letter X going 2-2 reversal month. You've got STLD close right here, looking for the 2-2 down below 61.43 or almost there. SCCO Inside month to the downside, TECK. And on the month, it hits exhaustion risk and comes back in on the weekly. Gives you this potential, the 2-2 weaker if they want to bring it back through here after try the out. If we go to some of the home builders, DHI just trying to hammer here, so DHI is somewhat of an either way because the monthly is still the 2 down, and if you go to Masco, I mean, as you can see this, the 2-2 monther, and then the week here, a little bit worse going out towards the low, so we'll see. If we go to NVCR, and NVCR, just a nice little hammer week if they want to try and bring this thing up. We know this thing can move around. I've got a Whirlpool, and Whirlpool on the month here. Is that inside or not? Yeah, RevStrat month they're down, Whirlpool. And let's go to Tesla's. Tesla's still trying to drift up out of this, still walking her way up. It's been a little bit of a walk for Tesla, but you can see they chop them up. But so far, still coming up, and that would still be a 2-2 weaker to the upside if they want to take it up. So there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts that need to be answered here. But we'll see if that overall weakness in the futures continues, because that might tell us a few tails, or if they firm up. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Smith in the Black.